Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling, fun Friday. Yes. How was your day? What fun things did you get done today? What fun things do you have planned for the weekend? I get to go have lunch with a friend tomorrow, and I know I've been saying it the last 3 weeks, but we finally get to. We're definitely on for tomorrow. Right now, we've already checked on Messenger. We are on for tomorrow. I have the camera. So these are the little cameras that I got to keep an eye on Zephy when we're out and about. When I'm out and about, not with her. And I'm so like looking at this again, where am I going to put it? And it comes with this cute little platey thing so you can hang it upside down. And I thought, and I'm looking around going, where? And it's got this long cable on the thing. And I'm like, oh, I know where I'm going to put it. And then I'm like reading the instructions and it says, don't put it opposite a window. And I'm like, yeah, that's going to be a little difficult. Windows, window. The only place where I wouldn't be a window would be putting it somewhere up front in the driving area and having it facing back this way. But then I thought, there's no outlets close enough except for on Zephy's side where her bed is, and it's down near the floor. So that ain't going to work because it would kind of be on top of her and I want to see her in her bed. So back to planning again. Although I still think it will work where I want to put it. Even though it's going to be opposite a window. Yeah. But I could always put, because it's going to be opposite the, well, actually, if I do, that might work because I can close the blinds before I leave. And that would help. So anyway, let's see. So we've been having a very fun day here. Lots of cool stuff, a lot slower on the help chat today, but a lot more in-depth type questions. So there was a lot of typing involved today. Voice is going a little scratchy. I keep talking to myself. What can I say? But this morning, for a bit of fun, I thought I'm going to teach Zephy a new word for her button. And the word was treat. And so we're down there on the floor over there by the button. And she gets so funny with these buttons. She really does. I got to videotape one of the trainings one time. And she gets down on the floor there with me. And she's sitting there. And I hold the treat. And I hold it over the button. And I go. And I press the button and go treat. And she's busy trying with her nose to get the treat out of my hand. And I've got it in my hand like this and pointing. And she's trying to get her nose in here to get it out of my hand. And I'm like, no, not going to work. So she starts hitting the button. And when she hits the button, she gets a treat. And she said, well, this is pretty cool. And so we did our 10 minutes training. I could tell she was starting to lose interest in the training. And so I thought, okay, we're done. So then, because I have breakfast so early, I was feeling a little peckish. So I thought, let me just do a quick snack. And of course, it had chocolate in it. So Puppy's dog's not allowed chocolate. So I'm sitting here eating. And she jumps up next to me and is like sniffing it. And then she just does her very stoic, staring straight ahead, not staring sideways or anything. Beautifully sitting, staring straight ahead, not paying attention. She's really paying attention to what's going on over here with the food. But on the outside, it looks like she's looking straight ahead. And I looked at her and I said, this is not for puppies. Not for puppies. She goes, huh, jumps down. What? And I thought she was heading up to the dashboard. The next thing I hear is treats. She got her paw and she hit the top of that button like twice, whacked the top of that button twice. The treat thing comes out. I bounce out of the seat and go, good girl, and go over and get her a treat and give it to her. She didn't look impressed though, but I was absolutely ecstatic that I wasn't giving her any, and she probably thought she was going to get some of my food. So like, yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. So, and throughout the day, she goes and she stands there and just stares at it. Doesn't do anything with it, just stares at it. And you can kind of see like the wheels But it was just so funny. It was about 20 minutes after we'd finished training, 15, 20 minutes after we finished training. And she just jumps down and with a humph and walks over there and just pounds the button twice. But hey, she got a treat out of it, so it worked. So we'll see if we can keep it going. But yeah, so it was a quiet day on the help desk today, but just a lot of continuing questions. So people ask a question and they're asking, and you solve that one for you and think, okay, we're done. And then they come back with another question, and it just kept, we had a couple of them that would just keep rolling with questions, which is perfectly fine. I would rather people ask and learn how to do things than not say anything and it doesn't go well for them, especially with automations. So I'm happy to sit there and answer questions all day long. And so we got those questions answered, and I was sitting here tonight and I was thinking, oh, and then I have to tell you about, so I was checking my propane tank today, and I'm halfway between a half and a quarter. That was just last night. And I thought, okay, so I'm going to need to order propane on Monday, but I wasn't putting the order in last night, although it'll be here today, and I want them to come on Monday. And so I thought, okay. And then I'm sitting here and I'm like, and I hear a truck like idling down the road there. And I couldn't tell if it was a truck or if it was actually if it was a truck or if it was a pickup truck with a fifth wheel attached to it or something, because it had that diesel engine noise and it was idling. And so I didn't think anything of it, but it reminded me I had to go order the propane. And I thought, okay, it's after 5 o'clock. The office will be closed. I'm going to go order the propane. And then that'll be on the list for Monday. So I put the order in and I'm sitting here typing up some stuff. And then I hear the truck engage, and the engine engages, because you hear the thing, and it starts rolling forward, and it stops in front of our place and just idles. And I'm like, I wonder what they're doing out there. And of course, I've got the front screen closed because the sun was like pouring in there earlier. It was making it really hot inside. And so I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, oh, they're just stopping for a moment. They may be talking to somebody who's out there, and excuse me. And very, very dry throat today. Don't know what's going on. And didn't think much of it. Well, and then I hear the truck starting to move away. So I look out the window. It was the propane guys. They were sitting out front waiting for me to come out with my little orange, I have an orange tag that you go and put under your wiper. And they were waiting to see if I would come out. They had already received my order. I'm like, oh my God. And so they ended up tootling off. So I'll see them on Monday for delivery, because I'll have my little orange sticker out front. Like, you get that little orange thing about the slong about the sign. You stick it under your wiper at the front there. And but yeah, they'd already got my order like 5 minutes beforehand when I had finished it. I was like, well, that is impressive to know that if I see them in the campground and I go put an order in, they could easily swing by my place. So if I forget or something. You can set up for automatic deliveries, but I don't know how often I need filling. It depends how cold it gets at night, because we have the heat come on when it hits 59 degrees overnight. And then in the morning when I get up, I bump it up to 65 for when I'm out here in the morning and taking showers and all that sort of stuff. So there's just enough to take the chill off the air. And then usually before I get on my morning calls at 9 o'clock my time, I've got the heat pump turned off. So there's not a lot of time. It's not using a lot of gas, and it just depends how cold it is to how often it comes on during the night and things. So we will see. Oh, excuse me. So tonight's movie. I was thinking about this. What am I going to watch tonight? Because I know I talked about this morning. I talked about watching Without a Clue last night, and I love that movie. It's really cool. If you want to see Ben Kingsley and Michael Caine together, are awesome working together, and it's Michael Caine plays Sherlock Holmes, Watson, and Ben Kingsley plays Dr. Watson, and it is a real role reversal, because in this movie Without a Clue, Sherlock Holmes is a drunk actor. Ben Kingsley's Watson character is the smart detective, and he's the one that does all the detecting, and Sherlock Holmes is just a front man. So it's kind of is a made up person. So it's kind of cool with the role reversals and all of that. So it makes fun. My favorite scene is that they're up at the lake, and they're walking along, and Ben Kingsley's like, got his notebook in hand, and he's walking along looking down, and And Michael Caine's walking beside him, and he's got his head up in the air like this, and like the police thing, the mayor person, or something. There's these people walking behind them. I can't remember exactly who they are walking along behind, watching Sherlock Holmes at work. And Michael Caine walking along, and he goes, "What are we looking for?" And Being Kingsley goes, "Footprints." And Michael Caine goes, "Have we found any yet?" Just love that scene. And he goes, "No." And he goes, "Well, let me know when you do." He says, "Okay." I love it. But anyway, so I was thinking, now what movie can I watch tonight? What other movie was made around late 80s, early 90s that I could watch tonight? And then I was sitting here having lunch, and I suddenly remembered, it's the 4th, which is my grandson's 7th birthday. Oh, I'm going to call him too. But the other cool thing about the 4th today is that they released Reacher. And if you don't know who Reacher is, Jack Reacher is a character from in a book series by Lee Childs. And he's this former military police person. He's massive. He's like 6'5", solid muscle. And he's retired from, what service was he in? He's retired from whatever, I can't remember what service he was in. Jeepers, woman. Think. But he's retired military and former military police, and has a reputation known throughout the military thing, because people, when you're reading through the books, and if somebody's been in the military, they know who he is, type of thing. But he's just a very, and that was one of the problems that a lot of the people, because I'm in the Facebook group for Lee Child's, the Jack Reacher Facebook group, and when the 2 movies came out with Tom Cruise playing the character, people were up in arms because Jack Reacher in the book is 6'5", solid muscle, hands like dinner plates, type of thing. It's a very descriptive thing. And so the way Lee Childs explained it is that the reason he wrote the character that way in the book was because he wanted the reader to get the impression that he had a very large presence. He had a great presence when he walked into the room, and he felt that Tom Cruise provided that presence. Okay, maybe not physically, but he provided that presence when he walked into the room. He had that demeanor about him. And I enjoy those 2 movies, but the fact that there is such a physical descriptive difference between the 2 still bugged me a little bit. But I do enjoy the 2 movies that Tom Cruise made. And so this time they've got an actor who not only is a good actor, but he looks the part. And Jack Reacher never carries anything. It's always, he's got his toothbrush on him and his toothpaste. He wears the same, and when it's time to change clothes, he just goes buy new ones, or new to him. He'll go to a thrift store and buy himself a new set of clothes. He doesn't carry anything with him. He's got his passport, his toothbrush, his toothpaste, and some cash on him. And he gets cash wired to whichever, what's the big name? Western Union, is that it? Is close by. He gets money transferred there, and he goes and picks it up, and he's good to go. But yeah, he's a very interesting character. And so the first season, which is based on the first book, came out today, and it's 8 episodes long. And so I watched episode 1 while I was at lunch, and of course lunch backs up to when I've got to go on to the chat, and I was sort of like, dang, I really want to sit down and watch the rest of these. But at the same time, I don't want to rush through the 8, but it's one of those things, I don't want to rush through the 8 episodes. So I'm going to have to pace myself, but I have a feeling that that's not going to work, because the first episode was really, really cool. I enjoyed it a lot, and I wanted to sort of, and then they get to the end, and I'm like, oh, do I watch the episode? And I looked at the time when I've got 5 minutes to get online. So will I be watching a movie tonight? Probably not. Will I be watching Reacher? Probably. But the first episode that sets up everything, sets up the storyline and all that, was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. And the guy who was playing the character, I wish I could remember his name, who's playing the character of Jack Reacher, is really good. And definitely fits the physical description that's in the books. And so the fans in the Jack Reacher group are a lot happier when they found out who was going to be playing the part for found out that the TV series was coming. The series was coming out with Amazon. It's specific to Amazon Prime, an Amazon original, sorry. And they were excited about that, and they were excited to hear who was going to be playing Reacher. So it's sort of like everybody's now happy because we now have somebody who matches the physical description in the book. They're on screen, and it makes the stories flow a little better. But so I'll probably be watching. Yeah, I haven't decided if I'm going to do a movie and make myself wait on the other one. I don't know. Haven't decided. I can't decide. I don't know. But anyway, so that's it for us for today, for Friday. It's definitely been a fun day, and looking forward to tomorrow. So go have a super fantastic, sparkling rest of your fun Friday. Enjoy the day, the rest of the evening, day, wherever you are. Enjoy it, and we'll catch you guys back here bright and early tomorrow morning for Shake It Up Saturday. Hej con era.